Well, good afternoon, Israel briefers from all around the world. Man, it's chilly here in the Holy Land. Believe it or not, the desert can get really, really cold in winter and very rainy. Nevertheless, if you're joining me for the first time, I am Rolene Marks. You have come to the Israel Brief, where we take a look at the top stories making headlines in Israel, stories you might not hear in the mainstream media, and we do it every Monday to Thursday. As always, the Israel Brief is brought to you in partnership with these guys, Lay of the Land. Now, today is day 480 since the atrocities of the 7th of October, where Hamas invaded parts of southern Israel, slaughtering, raping, mutilating over 1,200 people and abducting 250 plus. Right now, there are still 90 hostages that remain captive in the Gaza Strip. Every day that passes is absolutely crucial. And it is the topic of the hostages that we begin with. And I just want to reiterate something. Yesterday, Israel confirmed that out of this first group of 33 hostages that are part of the release for phase 1, 26 are alive and 8 are deceased. Now, they have not published lists. They haven't said who is alive or who is dead. And I know in many countries there are lists circulating, put together by what I can only call ghouls that are trying to create drama. And somebody just messaged me now saying, well, people want to know who is dead. I think it's very important to understand that these families are going through hell. If you are seeing lists circulating on WhatsApp groups, I would remove myself immediately. The only people who need to know are family members. And the family members still have yet to be told for certain whether or not their family member, their loved one, is alive or dead. This is a very, very sensitive time in Israel, and we have to treat it with the utmost respect and utmost sensitivity. These families deserve to hear from official sources who know how to handle breaking this kind of news, and not somebody who is spreading stuff because they are curious or they have to be a breaking news agent or because they want clicks and likes and monetization. So it's very, very important to say that. And also people need to understand that our hostages have been held in untenable conditions now for 480 days. And let's hold all of them in our arms and in our hearts so that we make this process, whether it is bringing those that are still alive home to start the very difficult recovery process, or those that are deceased to be laid to rest with dignity. Let's treat them with the dignity that they deserve. And while we are speaking about the hostages, last night Palestinian Islamic Jihad released a video showing proof of life for Arbel Yahud. Arbel is a civilian, a female civilian that has been held by Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and at the request of her family, Israeli media did not show the video. Now, there is a lot of discussion around when Arbel will be released. We had reports that she is expected to be released on Thursday. However, a short while ago, the Qatari Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that the negotiations are making progress and that she will be released. They said they don't have an exact date. They just said before Saturday. Arbel is expected to be released along with Agam Berger. Agam is one of the 5 female observer soldiers that were taken on the 7th of October from Nahal Oz base. Over the weekend, 4 of the other Tatzpitaniyot, Liri Albag, Naama Levi, Karina Ariev, and Daniela Gilboa were released. So that's what we know. We know that the 2 girls with 1 other hostage, whose identity we have yet to know, are expected to be released before Friday, and on Saturday we should see more hostages released as part of phase 1 of the deal. President Herzog addressed the UN General Assembly yesterday for International Holocaust Memorial Day. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, the 27th of January is the day designated by the United Nations as a day to coincide with the liberation of the Auschwitz death camp in 1945. On the 27th of January 1945, Soviet troops liberated Auschwitz, and so this day of international commemoration coincides with that. During his speech, the president accused the UN of moral bankruptcy and for hypocrisy and the protection of the perpetrators. So I'm going to read to you some of his speech. The president said, rather than fulfilling its purpose and fighting courageously against a global epidemic of jihadist, murderous and abhorrent terror time and again, this assembly has exhibited moral bankruptcy. International forums and institutions such as the International Criminal Court opt for outrageous hypocrisy and protection of the perpetrators of the atrocities. They blur the distinction between good and evil, creating a distorted symmetry between the victim and the murderous monster. I want to be clear. We know for a fact, based on evidence, that the 7 October terrorists drew inspiration from Hitler and the Nazis and acted with all their cruelty to destroy our nation-state of Israel and its citizens. But the issue, ladies and gentlemen, is much deeper and reaches far beyond the 7th of October massacre. We have all witnessed a huge volcano of anti-Semitism erupt following the massacre. And he went on to say, I call on all representatives in this General Assembly, all who consider themselves part of the civilized world, to throw your weight to ensure our hostages return to their homes, every single one of them. Bring them home now. Now, the president is not the only Israeli leader who took aim at the ICC. Yesterday, Prime Minister Netanyahu tweeted out also taking aim at the ICC, saying that the institution founded on the ashes of the Holocaust is now carrying out the acts of the perpetrators in vile acts of anti-Semitism. And sticking with great anti-Semites, we now go to Iran, where the Iranian foreign minister addressed President Trump's suggestion to remove the civilians from Gaza and send them to neighboring countries, Jordan and Egypt. The foreign minister says he suggests that all Israelis be sent to Greenland. He went on to warn that if the nuclear sites in Iran are attacked, Iran will respond with what he calls severe force. And finally, Israel's foreign minister Gideon Sa'ar announced today that Israel will be opening an embassy in Zambia. The foreign minister called Zambia a friend of Israel and said that it is part of a broader plan or strategy to strengthen bilateral relations with African countries. He also invited his Zambian counterpart to visit Israel. So those are our top stories for today. Now for the audience question that comes from Austin in South Africa, who asks, why don't Arab countries want to accept Palestinians? Well, the answer is simple. First of all, the answer that they would give to the media is to say that they don't want displaced Gazans who won't be able to return to their home. But the real reason is they don't want to import the extremism that comes with members of the Muslim Brotherhood that might be embedded within the refugees. If you look at Jordan and Egypt, most Palestinians can trace their roots back to either Jordan or Egypt, and we know that the Hashemite monarchy don't want too many Palestinians for fear that their monarchy might be overthrown, and in Egypt they don't want to import the Muslim Brotherhood, of which Hamas is an offshoot, into that country. So those are our top stories and our audience question. Don't forget, if you have a question, pop it in the comments section below or send it to us via Facebook or our website. And don't forget to send me your mentions and morons. I've got quite a few coming in. And a reminder to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook meta/whatever site is at LOTLSITE at Lottle's site. We are on YouTube right here at the Israel Brief, on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks, on Instagram at Rolene_Marks, on X at Lay of the Land 5. And guys, I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. God bless you and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.